Okay, welcome to the live stream today, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to talk about a couple of really big, serious topics here, because while we are out there in the world working hard, there's certain people out there that are working very heavily against us. And we've covered this topic a while back now, but I'm going to go into it in a lot more depth today because some of the evidence is staggering. I want to begin then by well, firstly, if you're in the EU or if you're in Europe predominantly, pay very, very careful attention to this video, because this could be one of the most important videos that you watch all year, actually. So I've been doing some investigations today into two announcements from the European Union. And if you're watching from outside, then just learn the lessons from what's going on here so that you can apply them to yourself in your country, because these things are spreading and they're going to hit every country eventually. So here it is. And if you're in the EU, you may want to think about moving some of your euros out. Let me just say that. So they've announced now then they're going to fund their huge spending costs. They've talked about this. This is their defense cost, 800 billion euros. How exactly are they going to fund it? This was the question. Well, they haven't got the money for it, and they know they can't print the money because of the levels of inflation this will cause and a lot of the other issues. So what are they doing instead? This is not a joke, by the way. I'm going to show you all of this. They're going to be getting the money from people's savings accounts. I told you this is crazy. People's savings accounts. And I'm going to, let me read all their statements first. These are the EU leaders, Commission, Council, etc. And then we'll go on to the digital euro and what's happening with the digital euro. It gets crazier and crazier. Okay, this is from Ursula von der Leyen. She's the president of the European Commission. None of them were elected, by the way, by the people, but that's another matter. She says we'll turn private savings into much needed investment. Now, they're not quite clear when they talk about private savings. Are they talking about dormant savings that haven't been touched in 5 years? Are they talking about people who have got savings above a certain level? It doesn't say. They're not clear. This is a statement from Bruno Le Maire. He's the French finance minister. He says, well, he shouted, mobilize all the savings of Europeans that are currently in European bank accounts. We need this to finance the future, including Europe's defense effort. Do this now. Statement from Pierre Gramegna. He's the ESM managing director. The idea of a savings and investment union aims to bring more Europeans into the capital market. Statement from Christine Lagarde. She's the ECB president. We've talked about her a lot. She says Europeans save a high share of their income, around 13%, compared with around 8% in the United States. But typically, Europeans favor low-risk, liquid savings products. In Europe, approximately 11.5 trillion is held in cash and deposits. This is 1/3 of households' total financial assets. So this was in relation to this basically grab. They're going to be grabbing people's savings here. And what they're saying is, well, this is only a small amount. It's 800 billion out of 11.5 trillion. So, you know, it's 10%. It's not really that much of it. It's less than 10%. It's not really a huge amount of money, is what they're trying to say. This is madness. Do you not feel as though we're living in this crazy, it's kind of, what does this remind you of in history? Please drop in the comments below. Is it a Soviet era sort of thing where we're just moving to this, where they think they can just take people's money? And wait till we get onto the digital euro as well. Okay, we've got a statement here from Mario Draghi. He's the former ECB president and EU competitiveness advisor. He says Europe needs to mobilize private savings at an unprecedented scale, up to 500 billion annually, to close the investment gap with the US and China. This requires a fully integrated capital market. Paschal Donohoe, Eurogroup president, we need to deepen the capital markets union to ensure that the savings of our citizens can be effectively used to finance the green and digital transitions. So it started with 800 billion for defense, but now they're like, well, hold on, we've got 11.5 trillion here. Why don't we expand this a little bit? Because we need money for this, we need money for that, and we can't print it. So why don't we just start taking people's savings? And let me just show you this. Hold on a second. I'll show you this on screen, on the shared screen. A quick reminder, by the way, if you haven't taken advantage of this offer, the new bundle of 2 programs, please grab those. We're going to be expiring the offer very shortly. So please grab those 2 offers. You can find out all about the programs. One is debt annihilation, one is credit hacks. I mean, talk about the perfect programs to accompany today's video. Okay, so here it is. This is what she said. This is her account. You can see this is not a spoof account. This is her actual account. We are making investing in Europe easier. The Savings and Investments Union, okay, this is what we're talking about. The Savings and Investment Union will boost growth and create good jobs, and it will give citizens more choice to make the best financial decisions for themselves. So what they're basically saying is, well, look, there's all this money just sat in savings account. Yeah, I know it's your money. I know it's your savings, but why don't we, because we know best, why don't we socialize the money and do something with it? So this is it. You can look this up on the European Commission website here. Again, not a spoof website. It's the Savings and Investment Union, connecting savings and productive investments. What the EU is doing and why. They're aiming to create better financial opportunities for EU citizens while enhancing our financial system's capability to connect savings with productive investments. I mean, this is just unbelievable, the things that they are doing here. I don't even know where to start with all this. They say, and this is again an official statement, the Savings and Investment Union is a horizontal enabler. I love it when they just talk all this waffle. I mean, all the big words they use for all of this. Anyway, it will create a financing ecosystem to benefit investments in the EU's strategic objectives, Europe's capacity to address current challenges, geopolitical dynamics, climate, etc. It says that we need significant investments, which the Draghi report, oh, I wonder who came up with that, Mario Draghi, who has a big incentive to create this report, estimates that an additional 750 to 800 billion euros per year is required by 2030, and which is further impacted by increased defence spending. So in other words, they're just going to keep this going. This is not going to end. They are going to be taking people's savings on a year-by-year basis. It is extremely, extremely worrying. If you, ladies and gents, look, if you have money in the EU, euros, or you have even, do you know what, even if you have euros in an overseas account, like in my bank account, I have different currencies in my business account and my personal account. And you can do this in a lot of bank accounts now. Things like Wise, no affiliation, no promotion, they have multiple currency accounts, but you can do this with your bank for most of you. So either way, my point with that is, if you have euros, you may want to think about, do I really want to keep these here? Shall I convert them? Especially when we go into the digital euro next, because it's only a matter of time until, not the launch, because the launch is coming very shortly. It's all announced now. We'll go through this. But I would just say, you know, as a friend here, I would say be very careful. Be very, very careful if you've got this in savings and things like that. I was talking a little bit on this on my monthly macro video, which I released today. It's not on YouTube, it's Patreon, it's a longer video, but it is worth a watch. It's an hour long. It goes into all this because you've got to protect yourself. You really do. You've got to protect yourself against some of these things that are coming down the line. Really, just be careful. Okay, let's go on to the big news then. This is the digital euro that has been announced now. Let's jump over to this. And let me just cancel. Here we go.
Accelerating the pace and hopefully campaigning enough with all the stakeholders, meaning European Parliament, meaning European Council, meaning European Commission, so that we can eventually not put to bed, but put to reality this digital euro.
Okay, so that's what she said just a couple of weeks ago here. We'll come on to the digital euro map afterwards, but I want to just go over this then. I'll give you a bit of context here. So we've covered all the way through since 2020. Number one was the exploration and research phase here. That was 2020 through to 2021. This is where they wanted to look at the feasibility of the digital euro. And once we've gone through the context, I'll tell you when they are announcing it and when they're looking to launch it. And it's very soon. Let me just say, it's very, very soon. Activity then, technical experiments, market consultations, identifying potential use cases. Firstly, I've never believed any of this stuff. I think they probably just have people doing this research just for the sake of it, because they're going to implement it anyway, even though they said, oh, at the start, it's probably very unlikely. We're not going to do it. And then the next phase, probably not going to do it, but it's worth exploring. Next phase, oh, well, we probably won't do it, but this is, there's a lot of benefits here. And now we're getting to the stages of, oh yeah, this is happening. We're doing it. I know we said we weren't going to do it, but we're doing it because we need to get control. And they keep using the word control here. The investigation phase was July 21 to October 23. So you see, they're very fast. They're sort of 2 years each phases, and they get faster. And that was all about design features, analyze the implications. Number 3 was the preparation phase. That was November 2023 through to October 2025. Keyword here, we're in April now. In October, the prep phase ends. What was the phase of the prep phase then? What was the goal, sorry? It was to set out the technical, legal, organizational foundation for it. So how it's all going to be structured. They said that they are still looking to launch and they're waiting on a decision. Well, that's not true, because we've heard already that they are going to launch. Key activities: developing the digital euro rulebook. This is the rules for citizens and how they can use it. Sorry? The rulebook for citizens and how they can use their money. If this doesn't scare you, and you're a very brave person, or you've got zero money, or you're not in the European Union, one of those three, I'm not sure what it is. Next, then they said that selecting private sector partners. So the private sector partners can help them to manage it. These are going to be your BlackRocks and all your big companies like that. They want to collaborate with banks and fintechs, prototype and testing. This is all the stuff they've done, by the way. It's all done now. Testing pilots. So they were doing core features, test groups with people. And now they need to just finalize it through the European Parliament and Council. They said if the Parliament and Council approve it, yeah, I wonder if they're going to approve it. Let me think about that one. So this is going to be later in 2025. User experience and privacy design. And then they go into all the, misinformation. We want to make sure that we can use this currency correctly, control misinformation. They're going to be controlling everything you say and do at this rate. And then decision to launch, then this is phase 4. This is between now and next year. And they say this is when we'll make the decision to launch. They've already let the cat out the bag. Lagarde has just said, we're going to do it. So why they still put all this stuff on there? Like, oh, we might do it. We might. I don't know. It's ridiculous. But this is phase 5, and this is the last phase. This is implementation. And this is going to be the mass scale rollout of the euro, the digital euro. And this is going to be 2026 to 2027 will be the latest. Now, it's so bizarre that we keep talking about this year 2027, because I've been talking about this year since 2020. I said this is going to be the pinnacle year when we see all of the issues come through. And we're seeing all the mass financing as well, government financing, which has increased debt levels by 50% to servicing levels just in the last few years. It's unsustainable. We're going into a debt spiral. And the only way they're going to be able to pull everybody out of this is with these launches. They will cancel a lot of currency. It'll probably be, this is why I think they're doing this. It's a test case. Will people complain if we steal their savings, if it's dormant or whatever they're going to, whatever word they're going to use? If not enough people complain, I think that's the test. They're going to say, well, look, this is needed for the defense of Europe. So we need this money. I'm sorry, but we've got to take your money. It's not going to be like before, previous times, war bonds, please help us, posters, you know, do your bit for the country. No, this is just like, we're just doing it. We're taking your money. Sorry. I've got a lot of concerns, but privacy, surveillance, they've already said that they're going to be using this as a surveillance tool. It's in the doctrine. You can go through and read all of this. They are going to use it as a surveillance tool, but they say it's for the benefit of everyone, so they can check that you're not doing certain things. They said it will be privacy respecting, but it's not going to be anonymous. So they'll protect your privacy, but they're going to monitor you at the same time. Monetary control, they said, again, this is their statement, says it will ensure the digital euro strengthens, not weakens, its control over monetary policy. They simply don't have enough control at the moment, and they need to get more control over citizens and how you spend your money. Banking sector impact. This could destabilize commercial banks, hence the idea of holding limits. So this one, I'll talk about this another time, because this is going to cripple some banks, so be careful again. And then we've got the geopolitical push. That's a whole nother one. But the big one, I think, is control. You look at what we talked about, was it on Monday? Was it on Monday? I think so. Enoch Burke in Ireland, EU citizen. What happened to him? They took all of his money. They went into his bank account and took all of his life savings. That, imagine when that's digital. Beep, there's the button, done. There's no court orders and warrants and all this other stuff they had to go through for the last 6 months with Enoch Burke. They're just going to push a button and that's it, liquidated. There's your digital euro gone, or confiscated, or whatever they're going to do. Drop a comment below, please. I want to know your thoughts on, oh, hold on, we didn't mention this. Hold on, we'll do this real quick here. So this is the phase then. These were the launches. This is the pilot. There's Europe there. We're about to go into launch then on Europe. But there's a lot of places. Look, Australia, many of you watch from Australia. Some of you are watching from Asia. I know I've got people watching from over 100 countries, or 80 countries, I think it is. People watch me each day on you know, different video platforms here. But look, this is going everywhere. They are in launch phase in so many countries now. I think, where's the UK? I think we're in development. UK's in development at the moment. This is you know, this is very worrying, very worrying indeed. But let me know your thoughts below in the comments, please. I'd really appreciate knowing your thoughts on this. But if anything, if you don't take any other action from this video, just take this. Please be careful with your money. Please be careful with your savings. This stuff is coming. Protect yourself the best way you can. Like all of my community, I mean, they get absolutely fire hosed with this. Every time I put something out, I'm talking about protection, do this, do that. You know, you just got to be really careful with this stuff. All right. Thanks so much for being online. Thanks for subscribing here. Really appreciate you. Take care. God bless you. God bless your families. And I will see you on the next video. I'm not sure if that'll be Friday because I've got to travel, but I will get a video out to you as soon as I can. All right. Take care.